I beg your pardon.
It was a Google thing.
It wasn't a Google thing. I think it was doing something on my phone when we started while I was waiting for
If you're
you to
just
get on.
joining us, I want you to know that Nick was going to start the podcast with something funny. And as surprised as I was by that, I have to say that we're still waiting.
Yeah, and you will be, because I have no. Oh, I just hit. That was funny. I just hit the microphone.
Okay. Oh, we're going to physical comedy on our podcast. Good idea.
That's right. Well, it's just because we have video.
Yeah, we're Tim Conway and Harvey Korman.
Which one are you?
I'll be Harvey.
I'm going to say you're so Tim Conway. I can see you do midget on golf.
It's Dorf on golf.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Midget on golf. Midget is not politically correct.
Neither is Dorf.
Little people. He was only short from the waist.
There was actually one of those words that was not politically correct anymore is now politically correct again. I don't know which one it is. I know it's definitely not the first one that I said.
Oh,
but
this
is what happens on a Saturday morning when the weather is beautiful because spring has sprung.
Yeah, how is it in Nashville? Tell me about what is your weather? What's your temperature?
Well, today it's a little chilly, so we're in the 50s today, but the sun is shining. The leaves are starting to sprout on the trees that are left, because I'm sure everyone knows. So I got to tell you this story because I'm sure everyone knows about the tornadoes that just ripped through here this past week. And there's a lot of devastation and a lot of lives lost in this metro area and also east of us in up close to the plateau. But excuse me. So the story, I was in Paducah I was about to visit a store. So I had gone up Monday night, and it was a last minute choice, which I'm very happy sort of, because I wish I avoided everything, but it was a little bit scary because I wasn't home for all of this happening. But I wake up, my phone has do not disturb on between, I think, the hours of 10 o'clock at night until 6:30 or 7 in the morning, something like that, right? And what that means is no calls or texts or anything can come through unless I have numbers favorited. I have my wife favorited, my dad, my aunt,
me.
Yeah, not okay. I should do that, shouldn't I? Because podcast, there's an emergency podcast session. My in-laws and my daughter's school; those are all set up on my favorites so they can ring through. So 6 o'clock rolls around and my phone is blowing up. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I answer it. It's my daughter's school, and it said, "This is just a message to let you know that we are open today." I'm like, okay, that's strange. Why wouldn't you be open? And I look out the window and it's sunny outside. Put my phone down. 30 seconds later, it starts ringing again. It's the school again. This is just a reminder. We're still open today. Like, okay, I get it. You're open today. What's going on? Still not even thinking a thing of it. Put my phone back down. 6:30 rolls around. Now my phone is blowing up with texts from all of our coworkers. Nick, are you okay? We're just checking in. Make sure you're okay. Nick, and you were one of them. Are you okay? Is your family safe? Like, okay, what the heck is going on? So I text my wife really quickly and say, hi, is everything okay? Are you guys okay? She doesn't answer. So I check our cameras that are around the house. And I mean, it's a nice sunny day, a little bit of wet you could see wet on the road and on the sidewalks and stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. Pull up the weather app and there's tornadoes ripped through Nashville. I'm like, oh my goodness. And my wife texts me back and yeah, we're fine. Why? Oh, by the way, why is the school calling us to tell us we're open? We had no clue what was going on. And we are about 5 miles from where everything hit. But that's how different, and I've explained this to a few coworkers, that's how different the little areas, the little pockets of Nashville are, the little microclimates, if you will. We barely got touched, while people west of us got huge hail, and obviously people north and east of us got a tornado that ripped through their neighborhoods.
Wow.
It was an incredibly nerve-wracking experience, but I spent probably 2 hours just responding to people via text, via social media, and all this stuff saying, yeah, we're fine. We don't even live near it, even though we technically do. So that was my tornado story, how we are just completely oblivious. That's a typical Kubik theme. We're completely oblivious to everything.
Well, I mean, in your defense, your Oblivity.
Ooh, good
I'm
use
not.
of the word,
Yeah,
oblivity.
I think that's not a word. I would say
It is now.
let's not really
I'm
do
gonna
that.
call Webster right now.
Do it. Give us. I want full credit. Hi, and that should be our next podcast, Oblivity,
Oblivity.
because we
I'm
have
writing
no
that
idea what the
I
hell's
am
going
writing that
on.
down right now, oblivity. Oh, how do you spell that? Obliv
Oblivity. I'm not sure how I know that, but
Okay, well, I'm gonna
we're
check and make sure that URL no one else steal that URL because we have
no.
so many
Hey,
listeners that'll
everybody,
go up.
welcome to Oblivity. It's
A
just
PoddiMouths
dumb.
podcast
Yeah.
network.
It was at 1:30 in the morning or something like that, right?
Yes.
So my phone has a weather notification, and I think it's just our county that does it, or a county by county basis, that screams at me no matter the time, no matter do not disturb, if there is a weather issue. And so when I'm out of town, it screams at me about what's going on at home, which is kind of interesting because I mean, I'm always aware if there is
Yeah.
a storm rolling in or something like that.
I have that too,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work when you have Do Not Disturb turned on.
Oh, mine does.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's because 'cause you're not on an Apple phone. You're
That's
you're
why.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh, you're on an Apple phone. Sorry, you're dead.
Yeah. I probably could. I haven't looked into the settings. You can probably have some of those come through even with
I
Do
would
Not
think.
Disturb.
I would think.
That would just make sense, but I'm
But
too lazy.
it's screamed at church before.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
really, I've got everything off and do not disturb. And yeah.
Well, that's how some people in Nashville actually heard the storm to take shelter. It wasn't
Yeah.
because of the sirens. They didn't hear the sirens. It was the phone alert because they send out those alerts for Amber Alerts and weather
Yeah.
whenever
Right.
that's
Right.
how people woke up was their phone. So that's my argument to get into a completely different
Yeah.
conversation. My wife refuses to have her phone in the bedroom. She's one of those people, and you hear people talk all the time. You shouldn't take your phone to bed with you. You shouldn't use it, blah, 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 blah. I use mine for everything, including my alarm clock.
Yeah, me too.
So, and it's not like I'm looking at the phone all night. I probably don't. The last time I look at the phone is to make sure the alarm is on. I'm not looking at it to dig into anything, and
Me
then it
too.
flips
And I
over
flip
and
it
it sets
over.
down.
Yep,
Yep.
I'm the same way. I flip it
And
over and so it's out.
I have Do Not Disturb turned on, so it's not going to beep or ding unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
It's just like having a phone in your room. That's what it is. And I keep it in there because it's safe to have it in there
Mm.
if something like that were to go on, because my wife didn't hear the alarms. She didn't hear the sirens. The sirens did go off because it's countywide. So even if
Sure.
the storms were hitting 20 miles away in a different side of the county, we're going to have the alarms here in this part of the city, right?
So we have sort of we have an alarm amplifier in our house. So when the sirens go off, the dog does the alarm. So
Yeah.
Indy, and it's true because the first Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. the siren rolls and Indy will throw his head back and
Nice.
It's
Nice.
so funny, and I've videotaped it before. It's just yeah, it's awesome. And so I'm confident if the sirens went off, he would amplify the siren sound and we would know.
I don't know about the sirens because I've never seen the dogs do that. But
Yeah.
normally, if there's a storm that rolls through, and that's why we knew it wasn't a major storm, our dogs go nuts just because of the storm. And
Right.
Jen said they didn't make a sound.
Hmm.
They just slept through the night as well.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it gets windy or anything like that, our dog is a little freaky. So
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Anyway,
It's freezing a little bit. Our listeners don't know that because we're not doing this on YouTube, but your handsome face is frozen.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's nice. It's
No,
your
it actually
internet.
looks better this way.
Oh, right. Well, before we were actually recording, we were making a joke because speaking of, where is your microphone? Didn't you have a microphone? Oh, there it is. Okay, so my microphone is right in front of my face,
Sure
and
is.
it looks like Wilson from Home Improvement when I'm talking to John because my mouth is right behind the microphone and my nose is peeking up above it. And we were making fun of that. So you can just call me Wilson from now on. It is Wilson, right? I'm not confusing that with the volleyball from
Wilson. That's very good.
But
Like this.
there you go. But that's not it's also the volleyball from that Tom Hanks movie.
That's correct. From what was the movie?
I don't remember. I
Come
can't think
on.
of it. I can't think of it. I could look it up. But then I'm going to forget the name of the other movie that I just saw a trailer for with Tom Hanks. It looked really good. Have you seen the trailer for
Castaway? I win.
Castaway? Good job. Oh, now I forgot. Thanks a lot. Now I forgot the name of the new movie he's in.
Yes.
Jeez.
It's really easy to throw you off. And you're the young.
It is. I've only had one cup of coffee. Hold on, folks. I got to tell you this new movie because I saw the trailer and I was all kinds of excited. Even my wife. He's got a new one. It's called Greyhound.
Yeah, I just saw that. I didn't see the trailer, but I saw the ad for it.
John, watch the trailer. It looks so cool. My wife is not a war movie fan. She was even excited after this trailer.
Wow.
Not that kind of excited, John. Jesus.
I thought you said
you have such a dirty mind. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Speaking of, watched any good movies lately?
Say again?
I was going to ask you if you watched any good movies lately.
No.
Me either.
No.
Yeah.
I should do that. As I was driving by the theater yesterday, and I thought we should check and see what's playing, in the theater. And we just haven't done that for a while, I guess.
You should start watching more movies. We need something to talk about on our podcast.
Because I'm bored stiff right now.
Me too. I mean, it's probably because I'm staring at your face, but
my face is delightful at this time.
Well, first thing I said when you came on camera today is, what is with all the fuzz on your face?
I have just a little gray.
It's not November.
Gray going on.
Yeah, I thought it was just the camera at first. That's good. That's good. Yeah,
it's not good.
You're so handsome.
I'm lazy.
So we have some friends here that my daughter goes to school with their daughter, and they it's also the mom her name is Jen as well, so it makes it very easy for me to remember, but her husband is named Eric, and Eric is a musician, and he's just a lot of fun to be around. But Jen is more, he's got that musician vibe about him, and Jen is a little bit more of a straight, I don't want to say straight and narrow, but you kind of get that idea of very straight and narrow type of person. And anytime Eric does something that's just kind of goofy, she just looks at him and goes, "You're so pretty."
Yes, that's a safe line.
Yeah. So now my wife and I walk around, and every time we do something goofy, "You're so pretty."
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so awesome. One of the reasons we haven't been watching that many movies is because we started out the podcast by saying it's springtime has sprung here in Nashville for the most part, which is probably why we're starting with the tornado season early. Yep. It's not normally super springy here at this point. We still have a couple more weeks of colder weather normally, but it is unusually warm. So things are starting to sprout. We got a lot of flowers in the yard, and we had planned this weekend to do some yard work. We probably won't get to it because that's just how we roll when it comes to yard work. But
what's it getting up to temperature-wise for you today?
Today, I think the last time I looked, it was going to be 56, but let me double check that.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a little cooler. It was in the 50s, but the day before it was in the 70s. It is 41 right now. It feels like 36. We will have a high of 52.
That's a nice day. We're actually at beautiful Lake Mills, Wisconsin today. 34 degrees right now, on the way up to 50.
Wow.
So I am washing the Harley today.
Washing the Harley.
Yes, I'm washing it with the R in there.
Yeah. Tomorrow it's going to be 64 here.
Nice.
On Tuesday, it will be 67. Thursday, 68. So, and we're going to be upper 60s for the next 2 weeks.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. That's
not really.
Awesome.
I missed winter. There was no winter down here.
Well, stop it.
And you know how disappointed I get when there's no cold weather.
Just go to Minneapolis and spend a week in.
I should. They had snow up there.
February, a little bit further north. You should be good for the whole dang year.
Probably not.
Oh my gosh.
I'll bitch and moan about it all the way through summer.
Well, but that's what everybody does in the cities, you know that they're always doing the whining about,
Yeah, that's what Minnesotans
stupid
are known
winter.
for, is whining.
The what?
That's what Minnesotans are known for, is whining.
A little bit.
It's Minnesota whiners.
Mostly, though, it has to do with football season. Anyway,
What's football?
football, what's that? I know. So yeah, that's the beauty of it. And so we're in the midst, we talked last time about being in the midst of a move as well. So
Yeah, it's a good time of year where it's not too hot and not too cold for a move.
that's true. And so that part of it is good, but we're doing, little things in this place. We have the luxury of having a couple of weeks to move in, so we don't have to do it all in one day or anything like that. So we're trying to prep the condo. So I'm tearing up carpeting and yada yada. So that's always.
Are you putting in new carpeting, or are you going to do hardwoods?
Both. We're actually in one of the rooms we're going to have as a workout room, one of the bedrooms. So that will be hardwood. And we're going to actually, LVP is the new terminology, luxury vinyl plank or something like that.
Nice.
So that's what it is, but it looks like hardwood and it's kind of cool. We're doing that in one of the rooms in the bathroom, and then we're doing carpeting on one of the string of stairs and in another bedroom. So we're doing a little bit of both, but I want a heater in the garage because it gets cold here in the winter. So the company to come in, plumbers to come and run gas lines out to the garage and blah, blah, blah. So the heater for the garage is $330 odd. They want $3,500
Jeez.
to install this heater. And I said, wait, let me get this straight. And I just said, forget it. So I'll wait till the fall and hopefully find somebody who will do it for less than that.
Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't even.
It's a ripoff.
I could not even believe it. Even if they got killed on the price of the heater, it's not huge. It's 50,000 BTUs. It's only a 2-car garage. It's not a big deal. But you're charging me $2,000 for install? You gotta be kidding me. That's
wow.
You'll run into.
Yeah, that's
first world problems.
Right. So I had a house. My very first house that I ever owned in St. Louis was built in 1897. It had gas lines, which I didn't know until about the time I was moving out, actually. It had gas lines in the ceiling, and that's how they did the lights, right? So it was gas-powered lights.
Yeah.
Modern lights were in there now, obviously, because I wasn't operating on gas-powered in 2005, 6, 7, something like that. And it was a complete rehab. It should have been, I didn't know this at the time, I should have just bought it and gutted it, but I was in there trying to fix it room by room. And I was in the living room one day and I was taking down the ceiling fan and taking down the light, and there was a pipe coming out of the ceiling. And this was before I knew there was still gas lines in the ceiling, and a pipe with a nut at the end. And I had to pull the light down over that nut. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they just put that up there to hold it. Why else would it be there? So I unscrew the nut, pull the light down, bring everything. I took it into the kitchen, which is where we were kind of holding all of the junk. And I walk back into the living room and I smell gas. Like, why am I smelling gas in here? And I look up and I'm like, oh shit. So I climb back up the ladder, screw this nut back in as the gas is hissing out. I'm like, this house has been sitting here for, a couple hundred years now, almost or 100 years rather. And no one has turned the gas off. No one has capped the gas lines going throughout the entire house. This is a disaster waiting to happen because every wall, every ceiling has gas lines in it.
Oh my God.
And they're all still charged.
Oh.
Most people turn it off. Now this house has burned once before too. So this is how I know it needed to be gutted, because I was pulling down walls and the studs were charred. I'm like, okay, why didn't they replace this already? So this is, Anyway, so I call the gas company and ask, has anyone ever asked to have this turned off? Have the gas lines capped? And they're like, yeah, we had a request a few years ago from the former owner to have them capped. I'm like, and you guys didn't do it? He's like, no, I think he probably just couldn't afford it, didn't want to do it. And I'm like, okay, how much would it cost? And they said, it's $75 an hour for a worker to come out there with you have to put down $250 plus the $775 an hour. And it's usually about a 6 to 8 hour job.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, just to cap the gas, all you really have to do technically is find the main gas line that goes into the ceiling,
and cap it.
Shut the gas off, cut it, cap it. That's it. And you're telling me it's going to take 6 to 8 hours to do that. And you're going to charge me that much money to do it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to let the next owner deal with it. So I did the same thing that guy did.
Wow. So
I did disclose it though. When I sold the house, I said the gas lines in the ceiling are still active.
Was that your first house?
That was my very first house. I was 25 years old, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so that's some of the stuff that you see. And we shopped for a bunch of different places before we ended up with this condo thing. And just an array of weirdness that you find in some of these houses. Anything that was built like in the 40s. We saw several that had ceiling radiant heat in the ceiling. Warm air rises. Right. Why would you put it in the ceiling? And so anyway, I, of course, in the condo, I found the reason why you wouldn't necessarily want radiant heat in the floor, which we have on the first 2 levels. And because I was scraping up a carpet tack on the edge, and I sliced one of the hoses. And But what do? First of all, it shouldn't be above ground level. It just wasn't buried right by the wall, unfortunately. So anyway, long story.
There's so many. Then, because this was a historic house, I didn't do enough research. I will say I didn't do enough research. I was too young. My real estate agent was very good. She and her partner would buy up blocks of neighborhoods in St. Louis and rehab them and sell them and make a huge profit. And that was kind of the goal. I wanted to flip this house. I shouldn't have. I had no business doing that. So I go in, I'm trying to make this house livable. And then the city starts fining me because they want the outside to look good. I'm like, okay, you want me to, I'll make the outside look good. There's no problem. One of the very first things they say, you have to take down your cornice and either replace it with a historically accurate cornice or do something in its place. Right. Okay. So I start doing my research and talking to people because I'm not climbing up there to pull this cornice down. And the cornice, for anyone that doesn't know, is the decorative piece at the top of a row house or any house for that matter. But it runs the span of the front of the house.
Especially historic homes.
Right.
Yeah.
You used to be, so the city used to allow you just to cover it if you didn't want to do anything to it, but they didn't allow that anymore. So I had to pull it down and replace it. So to do that, you can do it yourself, but you have to get someone to draw accurate drawings of what you're going to do. And you have to get it approved in 2 or 3 different departments, pay for 2 or 3 different permits to do that, then pull it down, redo it, put it back up. And you only have a certain amount of time to do it. Right. So I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't want to go up on scaffolding to pull it down because it's 3 levels up. So I started bidding out the job. And the cheapest one that came back, and this is before permits. I would still have to pay for the permits. $20,000.
Oh gosh!
I'm 25 years old. I make maybe 30 grand a year at that point.
Wow.
I couldn't afford that, and now so I can't do it. And now the city every month is fining me more and more. So I ended up selling the house. I owed the city, and I had to negotiate down. But I owed the city $2,500 in fines when I sold the house.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because I couldn't afford to pull the cornice down.
Oh my gosh. See, and again, if you really want to improve your experience of home ownership, buy a historic home and then deal with bureaucracy.
Oh, it was rampant in St. Louis. I have
Oh,
heard since from a lot of my friends that are still doing it that there was a massive cleanup, quote unquote, in the city, getting rid of some of the more, not that I was being scammed, but there were some corrupt people in there
mm.
that were lining their pockets. Like, hey, I'll
No,
get this fine going if you give me, shoot me a 50.
no,
Oh yeah, ton of it.
really?
Ton of it. Yes.
And
One of
what's
my first inspector got arrested while he was out inspecting houses.
wow?
And then my fines from him went away. And then but I started accumulating more fines because what he was doing in my house was legitimate, but he wasn't doing legitimate fines elsewhere.
Well, and I wish it would be ignorant to think St. Louis is the only city where that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not. But
Right. Not to
yeah,
speak ill. My time there was wonderful. I spent 8 years in St. Louis and loved every minute of it. But
you have always spoken very highly of St. Louis.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that was not a fun experience. Now, in my 40s, would I do it again? Yes. But one, I wouldn't live in it. Two, I'd have enough money to have someone else do it for me. And three, it would be a fun experience to do as long as I had someone who knew what they were doing helping me.
For sure. And half of it is just being able to have the conversation with the city,
Yes.
and
Yes.
knowing to whom to speak and things
Right.
like that. So
Yeah, I have a lot more experience and I can have more educated conversations with people. And, I know who to threaten with lawsuits now.
which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can afford a lawyer. So
I have
there's a big
attorney
difference.
friends.
Yeah.
Yes, I find that to be the biggest thing working in your favor is when you
Yeah.
have attorney friends. So things are different these days when you get into a house, and you and I were talking briefly about it, that both of us, you have cameras in the house, and I know you have other elements too of Google Home, which I
Yep.
do now on the condo. And I thought, you know what, since we're moving, now would be a good time to just do all of it.
Mhm.
And so I got everything that's integrated from the exterior cameras. It's another place like our house currently that if somebody pulls into the driveway, you really don't have a view as to who it is or anything. You just
Right.
can't see from inside the house. So I'm going to mount one of the cameras so you'll be able to see,
Mhm.
and one in the side yard too, and so we kind of have that all set up. But there are just so many components, from the Nest a thermostat to now Nest Yale lock set
Yep.
for
Yep.
deadbolt. I bought one of those. I
Did
have
you?
no idea who's
You're
going
gonna have to tell me how you like that because that's in my shopping cart right now. I just
Yeah,
haven't pulled the trigger. So
yeah. They're not cheap.
no, they're not cheap,
But
but we need to our locks work. So, but our keys for our front door stopped working for some reason.
oh,
I don't know if there's something stuck inside the mechanism, but the keys don't work on the front of the house. So we're going to have to replace the locks anyways. We don't ever go in the front door, but,
sure.
so yeah, that's one of the things I'm looking at. So you've got all the cameras. Do you have a doorbell, a Ring doorbell?
Bought
Okay.
that too.
So
Yeah.
I'm waiting. That's in my cart as well.
Mm.
But yes, we do have cameras on the house. We have one in the driveway.
Yeah.
So we can see. And the main reason for that is my neighbor's car was stolen out of her driveway.
Wow.
So now the camera looks in our driveway and also covers their driveway as well. So I can see everything over there and all the way down to the street. And it goes to the sidewalk that leads to the front of the house. I want to get a doorbell so I can see the front of the house again. I had a camera up that was looking at all of it, but I didn't like where it was positioned, and because you have to go up and replace the batteries.
Yep.
And that was really difficult to do. Then I have one in the backyard that's looking one way, but I have to get another one to look the other way. So we still have some more coverage to get, but yes, I do have all of that, and it's all integrated with Google Home. And some of the other things, and I have smart plugs and things like that. So we've got different lights that go on at different times at different days.
Yep.
So yeah.
And that stuff is kind of cool. And so I've dabbled with several different, I've had Amazon or I've had Alexa for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that integrates with a few things, but this is really the first time everything is going to work together. So I'm kind of psyched about all of that. We had the Ring doorbell, and I don't remember if there's an interface between that and Alexa or not. Not that it's a big deal, because Lisa would always get notifications on her phone. So when we had people come here looking at the house when we had the open house,
Mhm.
She would get notifications, and I said, "Stop looking at who's coming to see the house."
Oh, they're buyers. Those are buyers right
Yeah,
there.
I know. So we had like 15 people through the house
Yeah.
when we had the open house. So it was constantly notifying her. She said, "I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look." I go, "Okay."
She didn't mute it. You can mute the
Oh, of
notifications.
course. Yeah, but that's not Lisa. She doesn't mute anything on her phone. I don't think she knows how.
Well, she lives with you, so I'm sure there's no muting of anything. It's hard to mute you.
Look, I
I've
am
tried.
very, you've tried, you've done it, I'm sure, when you're editing sometimes. Didn't I say something there? No, Nick edited it out.
No, you never notice the things that I cut out. That's the best part about you. You're so observant, John.
This seems to be a
Observant.
monologue. Yeah, no, that's Nick. Yeah,
It's not a monologue, it's a diatribe.
it's potty
Uh,
mouth. It's
there you
one
go.
single mouth.
Oh my goodness. So
Yes.
yeah.
So anyway, yes, technology is rocking our world right now, but I mean,
It
it's good stuff. It really is, without making it weird.
I like it. Obviously you like it if you're putting it in, but I've heard some people really rail against having the smart technology in their homes. And I understand why. They don't want to be recorded. They don't want
Sure.
to uh, which is one of the reasons I chose Google. Again, you never know because all of these companies are very um, particular about their information and what they share and what they don't share.
Yep.
But one of the things Google has always said is that they don't keep their information. So they do record you, but it's anonymized and it disappears after I don't even remember how much time. But that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons. So yes, they are recording everything that we say. They're hearing everything you say, and it is kind of creepy. But I feel if there was one to choose, Google would be the safer one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People could probably argue right and left about that. It does what I want it to do,
Mhm.
and I enjoy having it. It makes my life easier in the house, and that's why I keep it. But there are a lot of people that don't like it. They don't like
Well,
the loss of anonymity. They don't like to be
yeah,
tracked,
yeah.
and they don't want to be
Well,
recorded.
the thing is, look, these days there's very little anonymity anyway. So people that say, "Well, I'm anonymous when I go online," no, you
Right,
are not.
right.
Anything you do digitally, anything,
Yep.
whether it's sending a text, whether it's going visiting a website, it, it's way less anonymous than you think. And
Well,
so, go ahead.
unpack that a little bit
Yeah,
because technically, if you look at it and you want to use that it's a technicality that it's anonymized, but the data may be anonymized, but your patterns and your history, if someone's really good at what they do and investigating a
yeah,
history of, let's just, for lack of a better way to explain, but let's say it's tied to one IP address and one IP address keeps doing one thing,
yeah.
they can identify who on that IP address is doing what they're doing, you
That's
know?
correct. That's
So
correct.
on my phone, sometimes I use a private browser with a VPN and I make sure I'm on a secure Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
People can still track me.
Yes.
Even if that all my data is anonymized, if someone wanted to gather up all that information that I've put out there, because it is going to exist, they
Yes.
can tie that into me just based on my
Absolutely true. And when you say anonymized, that means from a publication standpoint. It
right,
means that they can't, even they, and our company does that. But we know who it is based on the IP address. We know
right,
exactly what's going on, and we
right.
can even tell overlap based on devices they're using. But what's different is that if you if the government wants to get that information, it's available to them. Now, Apple sometimes fights on a couple of things with smartphones and so on, but it's available, and
Right.
you can access that stuff. So that's not to say anything other than, I think the thing that's often ignored by some of the privacy hawks is that it actually makes for a better experience if it's used correctly.
Absolutely.
And,
100%.
and I think that's what people lose sight of. So I don't mind. Hey, look, Google's got better things to do. My life is not that interesting where they're going to say, "Oh, look what he did." It's not really like that.
Right.
Um, but if I'm shopping for something, or I remember, last week you were on this site and you were looking for this, is a benefit as a consumer. if you like that sort of thing. And again, sometimes the privacy people will hate it, but I prefer a customized experience.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to look, the privacy is what it is. I mean, if you're digital, you have no privacy.
Yeah.
It's really pretty simple like that.
That's yeah. And I don't mind it. And so I did hear an argument against this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I don't mind being tracked. For me, you go ahead and track me, because if something bad were to happen to me, I want people to be able to find me. 2, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not going to do anything wrong, or I'm not trying to hide anything, then go ahead. I don't care.
You just obviously threw the government off your track now. That was brilliant.
Thanks.
Well,
Yeah.
we listened to the podcast and he said he's not doing anything wrong, so let's look somewhere else.
That's exactly it. Yes. 100%. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. And when you think about and if somebody wants to go off the grid, that's great. That's fine. You can totally go off the grid if you want to.
It's still not impossible.
Oh, it's not impossible. And I know some people that do that and have done it. And that's fine. That's your choice if that's what you like to do. I'm not saying that wouldn't be a feasibility, but we're just tracked so heavily with everything these days, especially with these.
Right.
The cell phone, that it just is, it's incredible.
Yeah. The best part, I was thinking while this person was talking about it, you're on a podcast. You're being tracked. You're putting your name out there. You're telling people, I'm sitting in my house right now recording a podcast.
Right. That's right.
So why are you all up in arms about security when you're sitting there using the technology to talk about it?
I'm actually in a bunker in Idaho right now, but I always pretend like I'm in.
I knew you were Idaho.
Yeah. Idaho. I love Idaho. Is a great place, by the way.
Oh, I've heard. I've never been. That's one state I haven't visited. I've always wanted to.
Oh, Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I would like to go back and spend some time there. I may do that.
We should put our Poddy Pod in motion to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
I think that would be great. I think
Bill,
I think
Bill, you need to get on the
right
Poddy Pod.
size. Huh?
I said, Bill, you need to get on the Poddy Pod.
Oh, he's got 5,000 other things going on. He's a busy man in retirement.
Right? That's how you retire right there. He's been sending pictures though of things. He said, "Here's your future Poddy Pod."
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that would be great. Hop in the trailer and go. And I think that would be great fun to do road trips.
Agreed.
But we're going to have to then turn it to a YouTube sort of a podcast too, then, because
that's the next step, anyways.
Parts of the country.
Yes.
That would be cool.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be. We should really look into that. We could make tens of dollars.
I'm not sure. Maybe fives of dollars.
Oh, okay, fives of dollars.
We could make tens of dollars. Nice. Well, what are we going to do with all that?
We might be able to pay for half a tank of gas.
Hey, perfect. We'll get a really small Poddy Pod and I'll pull it with a Harley.
There you go. They make those. Have you seen those?
I have.
They make campers you should do one of those.
No. Anything I can pull with a Harley, I couldn't fit inside anyway. It's a pretty good rule of thumb. I will ride the Harley to the nearest Marriott.
to the Marriott where they have nice bedding. And speaking of bedding, John.
Yes.
Buffy.
I'm planning to do that because I had an old comforter last night that is like not quite cutting it any longer. And so as we get into the new place, I'm excited to get a nice Buffy comforter.
A nice Buffy comforter.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. You're going to get sheets along with it because you can get sheets on Buffy as well.
I know. I probably will just to try it out because you want to get the whole experience. But I've heard nothing but good about their comforters. So that was the first on my list.
First on your list is to get information from Buffy, or not information, to get things from Buffy.
Yep.
Because they are made.
You know where I start?
Where?
PoddiMouths.com.
PoddiMouths.com. You get 12%. I'm sorry, you don't get 12%. What?
Are you going to send me 12%?
I'm going to send you 12%. No. You can get a little bit of a discount if you head to PoddiMouths.com, go to our affiliate ads, or in our show notes, you'll see a link to our Buffy affiliate area. But they are made filled with breathable 100% eucalyptus fiber. They are the world's softest comforters, duvet covers, and sheets, and they are temperature regulating. So if you are interested, head over to our website, like I said, or click the link in the show notes. Head over to Buffy.com, and you will it'll make you feel like you're sinking into a tub of whipped cream.
Wow.
I love that saying.
Do they use that?
They do use that. That is actually their quote.
You're in a tub of whipped cream?
Yes. Tub of whipped cream. I have always wanted to be in a tub of whipped cream. All I ever got was pudding and mud.
Oh,
Jello.
I've only done it a couple of times, but I was very sticky. I remember that.
John, you are sticky no matter what.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that, though. That's
anyway. Sticky can be a good thing. Where I remember what John said. What he said is sticky in my brain.
That is, see, there you go. Making a positive out of a really, not that I don't send conversations going the wrong way, but that could have been really bad. All really bad.
I'm in a tub of maybe a vat of whipped cream.
A vat. Speaking of whipped cream, on the last episode, we talked about the fact that we're heading to Disney 2 weeks from then, but now it's in a week. So this will air on Tuesday. The following Tuesday, I will be in Disney. I will have spent a couple of days there already.
I can
really looking forward to
your take on all of that.
I know, but
too.
And what? Oh, Peyton's take that's the big one right there. But I am still. We talked about it in the last episode, but I want to. The more it hits the news, the more nervous I get. Again, not because I'm worried about getting sick, but I just hope they don't shut the place down because of the coronavirus. That's my only concern. We actually had a thing from work that told us that we should watch out for travel. Not that we shouldn't travel, just watch out for it.
What does that mean? You need to watch out for travel. Oh, whoa!
Yeah, look out! Whoa. Here comes the travel. So I'm staying in a Moxie hotel next week, or the week that this is airing. I'm looking forward to that. It's a very eclectic looking hotel.
Yeah.
But I had asked because I'll be honest, the way that was phrased for our team was just a little bit, okay, does that mean we shouldn't travel? It's part of our job, or that we should just watch out? So I went and asked our boss, or my boss, for a little bit of clarification. And he said, it's business as usual for now. Just, if you have any concerns, let us know. So I wrote back, and the punchline to the story is I wrote back and I said, I do have one major concern. And that concern is that I'm not staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Can you make that happen?
I understand that.
I would feel more comfortable if I was
sterilization technique.
Right. I'd feel much more comfortable out there with this scare if I'm staying somewhere, Ritz-Carlton or above. Can you make that happen? The answer was no, unfortunately.
What?
I know. So I'm stuck at the Moxie.
That actually, I've stayed at one Moxie, I think.
Oh, have you?
And it's very nice. It's the one I was in. The only thing that bothered me a little bit at that particular one was they didn't have a desk chair.
Okay.
And
this one did in the pictures.
Okay, well, good. Then it's probably fine. But it was just kind of a weird thing, and I think everyone's a little bit different, which also makes it interesting. But yeah,
well, I'm a lot bit different.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
I don't think you knew that, but
no, I'm new here.
I was really excited because it has a taco stand inside the hotel.
Oh, I thought you meant in your room.
It's zombie tacos. No, I love tacos. I wish it were in my room. That would be awesome.
Stand in my room. Hi, I'd like the taco room, please.
Yes.
The taco suite.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Are you going anywhere? Which it'll be this coming week because we're recording on the weekend, but this week because we're airing on Tuesday.
Yes, we are. I do not have plans, although I probably have a Chicago trip coming up very soon, which is a drive for me,
Right.
an easy drive.
That's
Even
good.
though I'm currently in the bunker in Idaho,
Right.
I will be driving from Wisconsin to Chicago. And,
So are you
that's gonna be it.
going
So I have no airplanes coming up.
in your bunker? Does it have the doors that slide open, the old missile doors, and you can fly your helicopter out of it?
I can. I don't like to do that because choppers are very expensive to fly. So I will often instead ride a bicycle with playing cards in the spokes. So it makes that
Nice.
cool.
So it sounds like you're in your helicopter.
Yeah. So it
So
sounds like a chopper.
30 cents an hour instead of $200 an hour.
It's even 25 cents an hour. It's not that
Oh,
bad.
you got it cheaper. You got it down, huh?
I got a good
Oh,
deal.
good.
The
Good for
Harley's
you.
more than that, but if it's a bicycle, it's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well,
We're idiots.
we are, but that's what makes us so much fun to listen to. And that's why if you're listening and you are enjoying our lame conversations, share it with a friend. You know, all we're asking for you to do, besides going up to one of our affiliates and hopefully spending money there so we get a little bit of a kickback, is if you do like our episodes or if you do like our podcast, share it with at least one friend.
One person.
Really appreciate
And
it.
it doesn't even have to be a friend. It could be an enemy.
It could be, oh, that would be even better.
You
Hey,
know what I
listen to
mean?
this. You'll love it.
Yeah, you really will. And then
We'll make their head explode.
surprise them because they'll say, I thought you said this was good. You go, ha ha, sucker.
Exactly. But in the meantime, you can also head up to PoddiMouths.com, leave a comment. From there, you can leave a comment on the website, or you can head up to one of our social media networks, most social media accounts, and leave a comment there. Join the conversation. Let us know how we're doing, or if you want us to talk about anything special, get our opinions on nothing or anything or something. Because this is a podcast about everything and absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And John, I
We're
hope you
very
have
opinionated.
We are about nothing.
About nothing and everything.
And I am going to take that opinion and go downstairs and do absolutely nothing with it.
Do it. I'm going to have some more coffee.
Me too.
Do it.
John, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And because it's actually Tuesday when everyone else is hearing that, I hope you guys have a great week. John, you as well.
Thanks, Nick. You too, and everybody. Take care, and we will see ya.